Hello out there, everybody in Radio Land. Hello, everybody out there in Video Land. That's you out there. Yeah, you're who I'm talking to. Hey, it's Monday. It's Manic Monday. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This is your city, your voice coming to you live from the studios of 4680Q Radio in downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. That's right. Downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. That's where we're located. That's where the show's coming from. No fooling around. No fooling, Fred Poulin. Hey, oh, what a weekend. It was crazy. I think I shoveled more this weekend than I've shoveled in a long time, 4 times, cleaning the driveway. I got a snowblower, but I like the exercise. I mean, look at me. Tell me I can't use the exercise. Of course I can. Everybody says that. So I get out there and I shovel once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. And what do? Because I'm a good citizen, I shovel my sidewalk. That's right, because you know what? They're going to fine you if you don't. The Gestapo's going to come down your street and see it, and they're going to fine you. Well, that's not starting right now, but I might as well get into the swing of it, 2026, that's coming down. But you know what happens? I do a nice job, shovel it nice, break up the ice, make it nice for people walking. And they're going to want you to salt it too. They want you to take care of it, salt it, the whole thing. And you know what? The plow comes by and fills it all back in. Yeah. And you know that nice, light, fluffy snow? Well, it's not like that coming from the bottom of the road. No, it's heavy, packed. Oh boy, I'll tell you. Next time that happens, I'm going to call the city and tell them to get their butts down there with some shovels and clean it up. Come on. I do my job. I shovel the sidewalk, and then this guy comes by with this plow and fills it all back in. It's not fair. Not right. Anyway, that's my rant for today. Over the weekend, I think I'm in better shape than I was on Friday. Only because I did something. All right, before we get to the show, because we have lots to talk about. We got elections to talk about. We got all kinds of things going on around here. We got kooks on Facebook trolling us. Everything. I'm going to talk about a lot of stuff today. Let's get through it, man. Let's get through it. But first, a word from my sponsors. Of course, we have to talk about my beautiful sponsors. I love them to death. Thank you so much for sponsoring the show. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and Hamel Machine Company. Okay, it snowed a lot this weekend. If your car wasn't running right, you probably broke down. You might have slid off the road. You might have even gotten in a fender bender. Who knows? But one thing you know, that if you take your car into Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop and talk to Ken Hunter or any of his staff there, they're going to check out your car, make sure it's running late, and make sure you don't break down in this bad weather. Check all your systems. Make sure everything's safe to drive. I mean, your brakes are good. Your heater and defrosters are working so that you don't get steamed up in that car. And they're going to make sure all your systems are go. Put it on the diagnostic equipment. Check it out. Look for any error codes. Fix them for you. Get you on the road and you have a good winter. We don't have that much longer to go, but, it's still going to get bad. There's some big storm moving in this week. At the end of the day, you want your car running right. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop and a full body shop. So if you did get in a fender bender, guess who's going to fix it? Wild Bill's. That's right. Take it there. Get your car in, fix it, bring it out in showroom condition. You'll be happy. I'll be happy. Everybody will be happy. Please support our sponsors because they support the show and the city. And don't forget, if you're watching this video, go down there. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel. Get notifications when I'm posting my next show. And I'm posting a show once every day, usually. So come on, get with it. Let's get together. I have 103 or 104 I'm up to now. Let's get to $150. God, I'd love to get to 500 before the next election. Let's get people involved. And tomorrow, Councilor Lori Lococo is coming on the show. And I have a whack of questions from people who viewed the show and sent in questions. There's time for last minute questions if you got them. Although I have a couple sheets of them. A lot of them she'll be able to answer probably right then and there. And some of them she may have to get some information on, but she will get back to you and she will answer them. I've given her the questions just to be upfront because some of them need some research and she had to do some research for them. So she's not running for a campaign. This isn't a gotcha show to bring her in here and do any gotchas. She wants to answer the questions candidly and she wants to give you the answers that are truthful. So she has to have the questions to be able to do that. And most of them are really good questions from my listeners. They're fantastic. They're fantastic questions. I mean, they're the ones that we always ask on the show, a lot of them. And some of them are just like really, really into the budget and different things about the budget, different nuances. So you got to tune in tomorrow. It's going to be a tremendous show with Lori Lococo and Councilor Lococo. I'm answering any questions. And, I everybody thinks that I just favor Councilor Lococo. No, this show's open to any of these counselors, any of the counselors that want to come in, sit down and take questions from me and from my listeners and answer them honestly. No gaslighting or anything. Let's get some real honest answers. Let's get some dialogue going. You're welcome to come into the show. Just contact me. Just contact me. Come on in on the show and we'll have a laugh. And, we'll get some questions. And, some people are critical about me criticizing these city councilors like Mike Strange or Mona Patel or any of these counselors. Well, you know what? If people are criticizing you, maybe it is time for you to come in on the show and explain yourself. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? Why won't you do this? And you can give us your answers. I mean, yeah, it's an open invitation to everybody. I don't care who you are. Come on in. You want to talk? Come on in and have your say. And if I've been criticizing you, well, come on in and you'll find out why. And then you can give me some good answers, whatever you're mad at, whatever you see out there. Anyway, let's get on. Let's move on. So Facebook, I was talking about Facebook funnies, right? The Facebook really makes me laugh. So for the last week or so, Gary Wilkins, Mike Cushman, and I have been dogged by some gutless wonder who uses a fake name to call us names and disparage us. I mean, imagine this coward hammering us under a fake name and not even have the balls to use his real name. What a maroon. Personally, I just block the idiot. I don't have time for these people, right? Unless you use your real name, don't even bother criticizing me or that. I just block you. You're a waste of my time. Now, personally, these insults come with the territory. Listen, I'm sitting here every day doing a show. Everybody's looking at me. Everybody's listening to me. They don't like what I say. They don't like what I look like. I don't care. That's fine. That comes with the territory of doing a show like this every day. And of course, I have my opinions and I'm not afraid to say them. I tell you what I think here. You may not like what I have to say, but there it is. And if you want to argue the points, and that's fine. I have no problem. But for Mike and Gary, they're not public guys. They're not out there. They're just trying to make sure that any land that's developed is clean. They want to make sure of that. They care about not about just our generation now, not about just what everybody who does this kind of thing cares about. They care about what's going on in the future, how things are going to wind up in the future. Like the ramifications of building on contaminated land that is allegedly clean, but not. So they're doing a good thing, not for today, but for future generations and trying to make Niagara Falls a little bit better. So for this guy to come on Niagara Hot Topics, that's where he is, and talking about, Mike Strange and his battle to cure childhood cancer, which no one denies. Who has ever denied that? That Mike has done a great thing. He's the best friend of Mike, I guess. I think I know who the guy is. I'm pretty sure I know who it is. So, I mean, for him to come in here and call us names, Cane Man and Toothless Wonder, wannabe biker and stuff like that, just nonsense stuff. I mean, Mike should really himself tell this guy to cease and desist because people are starting to tell me, well, that's Mike. He's using fake names to say all this. And I'm going, no. This guy might not be doing Mike any favors, but this isn't Mike Strange. I can guarantee you that's not Mike Strange. He's not using a fake name and going on there and calling these guys names. I mean, it's just stupid to even think that. But there's people who do think that because they're not real names, they're fake names, and they're defending Mike Strange. And who better to defend Mike Strange than Mike Strange? But I think Mike would be a man enough to use his real name, and he would also, basically dialogue with everybody and maybe defend himself. But I don't think he would be calling people Cane Man and toothless wannabe biker and nonsense like that. But really, Mike should rein in his friend if he knows who it is, because it's looking bad on Mike. It's looking really, really bad on Mike. You know, and even if people don't think it's Mike, it looks like he's sicking his dog on us or something. Yeah, sick your dog on him. Go get him. Go get him, Fido. Tell them guys. And like I say, for me, it's entertaining. But you get tired of these guys and you just block them. That's all. Who cares what they have to say? They're a bunch of yo-yos. You can't use your real name and be a man. Then don't even bother. Forget about it. Anyway, that's my rant on Facebook. The Facebook funnies. It's always fun on there, and you always get some ding dong who decides he's going to start insulting everybody and instead of manning up and using his real name, especially under a fake name. So I saw on the weekend, oh boy, Colonel Ford is happy to deliver pre-election bonuses to everybody, even dead people. So Ford was at the Niagara District Airport talking about, now he's talking about a lot of things. We'll talk about that, but everybody got their $200 checks, their pre-election bribe money. And problem is, geez, they never updated their database, and they're sending them to dead people. Yeah. I mean, they're sending them to people who have expired. In the U.S., they call them Joe Biden supporters. This little payola for Votola is costing us Ontarian taxpayers a cool $3 billion. At a time when the books are running close to $500 billion of debt and a projected deficit of about $7 billion for this year. Doesn't sound conservative to me. It doesn't sound great to me. Sounds like a Liberal or NDP is running the province. That's what it sounds like to me. So, I mean, this basically falls in line with other tax to spend NDP, Cheeto Bandito or Nunesteg, which is how Doug Ford pronounces her last name. That was hilarious at the meeting. A pointer, and he can't even say her last Nunesteg. He called her some friggin' thing. Oh man, Weirdy didn't even know how to say her last name. He appointed the candidate. No, huh? Here we are, but I digress. If you received a check for a deceased loved one, well, if you're still settling the estate, you can cash the check if you are the executor. People are having all kinds of trouble with the check. I mean, they're putting them in banks, they're bouncing and not coming back, and putting the wrong names on them. They're using people's maiden names that instead of their married name. It's really crazy. Yeah, I don't know. The idea was good, but $3 billion. I mean, we can't afford $3 billion in this province. And I know it's $200 is nice, and it's going to go back in the economy and all that, and that's great. I mean, but still, I mean, what about the deficit and the debt? What about fiscal responsibility, which is the mandate of a conservative government? Yeah, it's just crazy. But here we are. We got our $200. Enjoy it. Go spend it. Grab yourself a nice dinner on Doug Ford. And give me your vote, of course. That's what it's all about, right? Come on. Got to give me your vote. He gave you $200. Give me your vote. I mean, what's it cost to buy a vote? I guess $200. We'll find out. We'll find out. If you haven't got your check, and a lot of people you haven't even got a check yet, you can check the status of it at the Service Ontario website. Go check it out, see where your check is if you haven't got one. I got one. I deposited it. Okay. I tell you, I still can't go out and buy my Ferrari with the $200. Doug, you gotta multiply that by 10,000 times. Come on. And speaking of Doug Ford and the February 27th election coming up, the Liberals have finally announced their candidate for the Niagara riding. Not that I care, because I ain't voting Liberal no matter what. But his name is Shafoli Kapu. And he was acclaimed as a Liberal Party candidate. In an email, the Lib said more about Shafoli will be released soon because nobody's heard of him and nobody knows who he is. Maybe it's a she. I don't know. Shafoli. I don't know. Maybe I got it all wrong. I'm an idiot. I'm thinking a man, but hey, Shafoli could be a woman too. And I apologize to Shafoli if I got your gender wrong. There's that sex. I don't know. Supposed to be a difference between sex and gender. Not in the United States anymore. Man and woman. That's it. No he, she, thee, them, the. Nothing. Back to common sense in the States now that Trump's running the show. But anyway, the Libs said they're going to give us more information about Shafoli, Kapu. And I don't know. What do you guys think out there? Is there going to be any kind of debate? Is there going to be a meet and greet maybe for Shafoli Kabu? Kabu? I mean, who are these people? I think there should be a debate. I want to see a debate between Nunastig, Kapu, the Cheeto Bandito. There's another one. Let's see who we got. Green Party candidate I never heard of, and Jody Burnett. That would probably be the best. Get Jody Burnett in there. He'll shake him up. He knows what he's talking about. I mean, there's nothing worse for any of these guys than somebody who knows what they're talking about. That puts them into a panic. Yeah. So we'll see. I don't think so. Now, the Liberal mouthpiece, Ken Gansell, said the election caught them off guard. Oh, come on, Ken. Ken. Who are you gaslighting, Ken? Did you not know you're running the Liberal Party in this region, that you're the guy? And you didn't know there was going to be an election? What were they keeping it from you? Did you just drop in from the moon or something? I think everybody knew there was going to be an election. That's a bunch of that's a bunch of BS. Let's put it that way. I mean, and I don't get these parties. There's a snap election they knew was going to happen, but don't they prepare for an election? I mean, there's some people in a pot who they have that can possibly be a good leader of the party? Don't they plan for some stuff like this? You think that they'd have a list of 3 or 4, maybe half a dozen really good people, whether it's conservative or liberals or NDP or whatever. And then they would have some kind of a nomination beforehand and say, okay, if all things are right, this is the person who's going to represent the party when the time comes. You mean to tell me Ford announces a snap election and they have to go acclaim people because there's nobody else? You're it. I mean, that's basically what the NDP did with Merritt Stiles. They couldn't find a leader. Nobody wanted it. Not even the Cheeto Bandito wanted to be leader. They asked him. So Merritt Stiles was the one who finally said yes. I mean, the Liberals were so bad, they were trying to get Mike Schreiner to be the leader of their party. Hey, come on over, jump over from the Greens. Lead our party. He said, are you kidding me? Get the hell out of here. You guys are dead and gone with Kathleen Wynne, so please, get away from me. So what do we have here? We got a PC that is appointed like Kamala Harris, a Liberal that is acclaimed because nobody else wanted the position, I guess, an experienced and well-liked NDP current MPP that has been sitting at Queen's Park for 12 years now or something, a Green Party candidate that I've never heard of and know nothing about, and finally an independent that could probably be the best candidate to go up to Queen's Park and represent the Niagara riding, but is in tough because, I mean, without the money and to be able to run an effective campaign and the support and the around here it's a popularity contest if you want to get right down to it. So at the end of the day, that's like that. If you don't, your name's not known, they don't even want you. Most of these people, but Jody Burdett would probably be the best guy. He knows the most. Believe me, he goes to a city council meeting and he's telling them what the rules are. They don't even know. So he might be the best guy, but I think it's going to narrow down to a two-man race. Nunesteg, as Doug Ford calls her, or the Cheeto Bandito Wayne Gates. That's the way I see it anyway. I don't know. What do I know, right? What do I know? I just sit behind this microphone and talk. I don't know nothing, according to people, but that's all right. I don't mind. I don't mind knowing nothing. But all I can ask you, the viewers, is to leave comments in the video. What do you think? What do you think is going to win this race on February 27th? Is there anybody worth voting for? That's another big question I have. Am I going to sit this one out and just hand back my ballot and say, sorry, until you find a qualified candidate to represent Niagara, I'm not voting? Do I hold my nose and vote conservative like I usually would? I mean, I'm a conservative. I vote conservative. But man, I got to hold my nose on this one. Or do I maybe give my independent guy, Jody Burdett, a vote? He's the most qualified in my eyes, but I know he's not probably going to make it. But, at least I'm voting for the guy that I think is the best. I don't know. What do you think, you guys? Come on, give us a vote. Give us a vote. Let us know. Let us know what you think, and we'll go from there. Anyway, I want to get to my second sponsor, Victoria Avenue Pete's Pizza. And I'm saying that really slowly. Pete's Pizza. Because somebody told me in the captions on the video, it comes up pizza, pizza, but it's not pizza, pizza, it's Pete's. Peter, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. Now, I love pizza. You'll never guess what I had at around 10 o'clock this morning before I came in here. That's right. I had a piece of Pete's Pizza. Why? Because it's a great breakfast food. It's got everything: protein, grains, vegetables, dairy. It's got the whole shot. Have a couple hunks of pizza in the morning, and you're good to go for the rest of the morning until I have my apple. I like having an apple a day because it keeps the doctor away. But Pete's Pizza is what I choose. And why? Because they use a Mancini family recipe for sauce. They use it for the crust. Mike, the owner, knows how to mix the Saputo mozzarella with the brick cheese and how to throw it on the pizza in the right ratio with that beautiful Mancini sauce. And guess what? You've got a beautiful pizza with fresh ingredients out of the oven, fresh, hot, unbelievably good. And you know what? Mike's extended his hours. And he has some specials. He was going to email me the specials. He hasn't emailed them to me yet, but he will. And if he doesn't, I'm going to go on his website and take a look and see what he's got going, because he does have specials. So, call up, find out what the specials are for this month. And you can get a good deal on some good pizza. Also, don't worry about anything. If you don't like pizza for some reason, they have steak and cheese poutines, steak sandwiches, subs. They have all kinds of poutine, panzerotti. They got everything. Unbelievable there. They got everything. Beautiful dipping sauce. Oh, yeah. Hungry. I'm starting to get hungry again. But Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, that's where you want to go. 905-374-2222 to order your pizza today. Pete'sPizzaVictoria.ca to go to their website and order. And you can get Skip and Ride and Jump and Fly, whatever the heck all those different delivery services are. They use them. They use them so you can get your fresh pizza open till 2 in the morning on Friday and Saturday, 10 or 11 during the week. I mean, they're open long hours, so you can enjoy it. They open at noon, so you want a nice pizza for lunch? How do you get a pie and a pop and everything else for a piece of pizza, a slice and a pop for $4 or $5? Unbelievable. No tax now. Now's the time you want to order. No tax on anything until the 14th. Pete's Pizza Victoria Avenue. Support our sponsors because they support the city and they support the show. Thank you very much. Now, what's next? Things are looking good for Niagara Falls. Yes, sir, Bob. Tourist industry was expecting a huge summer. Huge, Buffalo, huge. The experts are saying that the weak Canadian dollar plus the buy Canadian, stay in Canada on vacation, buy Canadian, chest pounding after Trump announced tariffs. It's going to keep Canadians at home this summer. Well, that's what Mayor Jim said. But, Mayor Jim said there was going to be 2 million people here for an eclipse. He also said that the New Year's Eve show would never leave the city. Well, I'm going to erase that check beside that one. And they erased the check beside the 2 million people for the eclipse. But this time, I think Mayor Jim could be right. As Trump makes a move towards protectionism and border control, he has riled up Canadians with politicians banging their war drums, and some people are going to actually fall for this nonsense. I mean, you want to attribute it to anything, don't attribute it to patriotism and that kind of thing. You can really, really attribute it to the low dollar. That's right. Everybody loves the deal. When you come over that border and you hand them a buck American and they give you a $1.50 Canadian, how can you go wrong? I mean, the discounts they receive because of the exchange rate are huge. So, yeah, we could see a very nice bump if that dollar stays low, which it will, this summer, maybe back to pre-COVID levels, if possible. I mean, that's usually the driver between a busy summer is that exchange rate. So you got to say that, and then of course Canadians going the other way. I mean, you take a $10 you take $10 Canadian, and you get back about $6.50, something like that, $5.50, paying 45 cents for a dollar. I mean, that hurts when you go over the States. So yeah, maybe a lot more Canadians will be staying home. Patriotism probably doesn't have anything to do with it as much as the amount that they're getting ripped off when they go to the States because of that low dollar. Me personally, I don't worry about it. It is what it is. I've been used to exchange rates all my life. We've always paid more for the American dollar. Well, I mean, in modern times, I remember going back to the 60s and 70s where we actually got a dime on our dollar. Our dollar was worth more. That was before the Trudeaus took over, though. Since then, oh boy, forget about it. It paid up to 55 cents at one point, I think I remember. But I still go. I go to Erie. I like going to Erie. I love Erie, Pennsylvania. Go there, have a laugh, have a lot of fun. The exchange rate is just part of going and doing stuff. When I go to Florida, I just, take American money and pay in American money and don't think about it. I mean, if you're going to sit there for every time, oh, that's $10. Oh, that's $14.50 Canadian. If you're going to do that, you might as well stay home. Yeah, stay home because you're just going to go down there and be penny pinching and wishing you didn't go. The best if you go down there is just put it right out of your mind. You're spending American dollars in America, and that's it. But I have no problem being in Trump territory. I love it. And I get along good with the Americans, and I don't worry about their exchange rate. It is what it is. If I want to go, I have to pay. I know that. But, I mean, with all this good news for Niagara Falls, we might actually see a bump in the casino revenue for 2025, putting more money into our pockets, which for once could mean these bean counters can give us a 5% tax decrease in 2026, right? Hey, I can dream, can I? I can dream. I can dream. Let me run it for 1 year. Let me run one budget. I'll give everybody a 5% rebate. Believe me, 5% discount on taxes. How about that? That would be my platform. 100 million immediately towards roads in the next 5 years. $2 million per year for the next 5 years to clean up this city, and a 5% tax rebate. Yeah, that's not a bad platform, Jimmy Ringo, Johnny Ringo. That might be a good platform. I don't know. Maybe I'm nuts. But thanks to Ray Spiteri for all these great stories coming out of the review. Ray's a great writer. He writes great articles, has all the facts, and I use him as one of my guys, along with Johnny Law and Allison Langley and Bill Sawchuk and all the other reporters for the local newspapers. I'm going to get my stories from them, and thank you very much for writing such good stories. I'd like to acknowledge them all. I think there's another Brenner, another person name, yeah. But they're all great writers. Okay, so 4 mayors have endorsed Colonel Ford as Premier of Ontario, which is pretty good news because usually mayors stay quiet. They really don't want to alienate any candidate for fear that candidate loses and the mayors are caught with egg on their face. Can you imagine endorsing Ford and Crombie wins? They got to go in with their hat in their hand, knowing they endorsed Colonel Ford. Yeah, so usually they just stay quiet and they ride the fence. But I mean, what's Jim Diodati going to do? He's buddy with Ford. He's got him on speed dial. Ford calls him the real MPP of Niagara. So I don't know. Usually they don't get involved, but a lot of them are now. They're all endorsing the Niagara Lake there and St. Catharines and a whole bunch are endorsing Ford. Big push for Ford. But, the Cheeto Bandito, Wayne Gates, is taking it all in stride. And the Cheeto Bandito, I thank Chris Regas for that. I used to call him the Frito Bandito, but seeing that he exists with the Orange Party, the Cheeto Bandito makes a lot more sense to me. He said he's not bothered by the endorsement. He said every election, municipal politicians come out and endorse parties for whatever their reasons are. I don't believe the public are swayed by endorsements. I never have. Okay. He also made the point, the Cheeto Bandito, that people get upset when municipal leaders stick their noses in provincial or federal politics. And I agree. They have to work with whatever party wins and to alienate any potential prime ministers is not good. Politicians have great memories for those that support them and those that don't. Oh, and it goes the other way around too, Mr. Bandito. The ones that were endorsed by Gates in our elections, city council and regional, lost. They lost their bids for regional and city council chairs. Kiss of death. So why Gates stuck his nose in that and endorsed any candidates is beyond me. I think he should have just kept quiet. I mean, don't stick your nose in city or regional politics, and the mayors don't stick your nose in provincial and federal politics. You don't know who you're going to have to deal with. They tell you, oh, we got to vote for the party that's in power. We want them to be the leader. Well, that's true. It's not a bad strategy. It's a good idea. We see what happens when we have NDP running the Niagara district with the prevailing power being progressive conservatives. But at the end of the day, you still have to have the candidate. You still have to have a good candidate. That's what it all boils down to at the end of the day, right? Yeah. That's the way I see it anyway. And that's what we're running into now. So don't stick your nose in there, Mr. Bandito. And mayors, don't stick your nose in the other politics. But, they don't listen to me. Well, what do I know? Ray Spiteri, great article again. Nobody listens to me. So, I'm watching all this Trump nonsense on TV, and it's becoming a lot of fun. It's becoming a lot of fun. The more I watch it, the more I watch these goofed up Democrats. Their heads are going to blow up and explode as Elon Musk, under the guidance of President Trump, run wild down south, take to the extremes, the left-wing media in Canada. But it's taken its toll on PP, on Pierre Poilievre. With lists coming out and people being shamed into some buy Canadian scheme, the PM wannabe is taking hits left and right by a media that's calling him the Canadian Trump. And for some reason that I still can't figure out, Canadians absolutely hate Trump. I don't know why. There's no reasons they can give you. It's the same old of convicted felon and statements he's made, misogynistic, and like Mark Cuban said, oh, he doesn't like to be have women with power around surrounding him. Are you kidding me? Tulsi Gabbard, Christine Noem, Pam Bondi. He doesn't like strong women. Yeah. That one didn't age well. That statement right there, Mark Cuban, you ding dong. But anyway, they're going to give you all these lame excuses of why they hate him. It's just they have TDS. They're totally deranged. That's the problem. They're all fabricated stories. You get a kangaroo court, which they're going to all be investigated now. Believe me when I tell you, they're all getting investigated. And they convict him of these goofy crimes, bringing in a Washington judge or attorney general, whatever the hell he is, Smith, or bring these charges. All these guys are going to be gone. They're all gone now anyway. They're a bunch of goofs. And then of course we hear all the names. Cheeto Man, Orange Man Bad, Southern Psychopath, right here. The left-wing media, ridiculous shows like The View. But no matter what these people are whining about, these Karens, the truth is far from what they say. That's for sure. So what's happening to Pierre Poilievre? I got his name right, I think. Well, nothing really. Polls have declined a touch, but the commanding lead that PP has is still pointing towards a big majority win, regardless of the left's insistence. The bought and paid for left-wing media, like CBC, that he's the Northern Trump. Now, the left is touting Carney big time, and of course, the PCs are ready, calling his government the Carney Trudeau liberals. Meaning that a vote for Carney is a vote for Trudeau. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. That's what the message is. Now, it's going to be an interesting election. We've seen the PC snatch defeat from the jaws of victory before. Scheer and O'Toole look pretty darn good, especially after all the criminal acts that Trudeau pulled on everybody. These sordid affairs with SLC Lavalin or whatever the heck it was called. And, we've seen so many of those, and yet these guys were ahead and they lost because they suddenly did U-turns on conservative values, and that's why they lost. They couldn't stick to the program. And they took a big dive on election day. The PCs seem to have taken a liking to that kind of thing, and they shoot themselves in the foot every time. So I expect Pierre Poilievre will stay on course and continue on the line of a Trump agenda. To make Canada great again, ideal. That's what we want. Make Canada great again. Canada first, regardless of what these advisors and pundits tell him. If he can stick to his message, I think he's gonna get a majority. People are sick of DEI. They're sick of weak governments. They want strong to battle with strong around the world, and Trump being one of those strong leaders. You need a strong leader to battle with a strong leader. Weakness doesn't play well. So who doesn't want lower taxes, fiscal responsibility, better health care, strong borders, and immigration laws? I mean, I think everybody does in Canada. We have the need for that. And what we see that has happened to this country over the last 10 years, when these tenets of good governance are ignored, well, they need to be corrected. I'd love to see this PP appoint Kevin O'Leary as leader of our own Doge. Yes, sick him on this wasteful government and start contracting government agencies and employees. Trudeau's added hundreds of thousands of employees. Get rid of them all. Stop wasting taxpayer dollars in other countries. Canada first. Get out of these goofy schemes like the WHO and Paris Accord, axe the tax, deport the illegals, find the 1.3 million whose visas have run out, and get rid of them too. That's what Pierre should be running on. Build our military so we can protect our borders, pay our fair share to protect Canada. Never mind what's going on now. Come on, Pierre. Grab onto these ideals, embrace them, and don't waver. I mean, if he was in the studio here, if I ever got him in the studio, that's the first question I'd ask him. Pierre, we've had this lip service from Sheeran O'Toole, and they backed down and went to the center and tried to appease. Are you going to do that, or are you going to stick to your guns? Because that's what Canadians want. They want a better Canada, and that's how you get a better Canada. We can't depend on other countries. Our rich brothers to the south, we can't depend on them to support us. It's time we took that on ourselves. Everyone is pounding their chest in a show of patriotism, which is fine. But you got to have the strength to back that bravado. Buy Canadians fine when you can find Canadian stuff to buy. I mean, Pierre Poilievre really has a chance to start a new era for Canada, just like in the States, an era that includes the U.S. and Trump. Don't blow this one, PP. This election is far too important to bend a knee and move to the center. Stay right. Stay with your conservative values. They have served you well and served Canada well in the past, and they'll serve you well again. Believe me. And for anybody who's a liberal, hey, if you're an old-time liberal back in the 60s and 70s when we had great liberals, the Liberal Party is not the Liberal Party of today. They were responsible. They were good. The Carrios and the Germanos and the Clements. I mean, these are outstanding, LaMarches, outstanding liberals. This whole city was liberal. But they fell by the wayside. Their values have fell by the wayside. Here we go. It's time to get them back. We have the chance. Don't blow it. Taking another trip down south here. Trump is still asking about Canada, right? So on his way to looking at maybe getting Canada as the 51st state, he hasn't let that go. He's going to make America great again, and the executive orders he's signing is moving him that way. And Musk continues to clean house. Now, of course, all the Democrats, their heads are exploding. Elon Musk was not elected to do this. He has no right to do this or that. Well, sorry, everybody. He does. If you remember, Trump and Elon stood up on stage and said, we are going to do this. The Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, is going to go into every program and find efficiencies. That's what we're going to do. And you know what? 80 million people agreed. It needs to be done. And they agreed that Elon Musk is the guy to do it. And now it's happening 3 weeks in. We're only 3 weeks into this election. January 20th. We're 3 weeks into this administration. And they've cleaned house. I mean, he's found $100 billion already of waste. Especially with this USAID. I mean, this is a joke. $50 billion with no $1 billion a year with no control. They did what they wanted. And now that they're uncovering it, oh boy, there's a lot of big names who have been handed a lot of money for no reason, including Clinton's, Obama, everybody. There's a whole list of them, and they're all going down. And of course, guys like Shifty Shift and everybody else, they're in trouble too. I don't care about their pardons. They're going to be in trouble. And you know what? It's going to be glorious. I cannot wait for this house cleaning to get underway. And now, Peter Hegseth, the DOD guy, he's invited Doge into the Pentagon. Come on in. And I'll guarantee you, once they get in the Pentagon, they're going to find $1 trillion of waste, and heads are going to roll. Heads are going to roll. This is what "Make America Great Again" means. This is what it means. He's going to go in there, and you got Robert F. Kennedy this far away from being confirmed, and Kash Patel. He's going to be confirmed, and he's going to release the Epstein list. That's right, the Lolita Express. The flight manifests are going to be released, and the names on that list are going to blow everybody's mind. That took all these Hollywood bigwigs and big shots and politicians down to his private island for a little bit of kiddie fun. This is going to be something when he releases this. We're just waiting for him to get confirmed. And of course, all the left wing people are there trying to get keep these guys from getting confirmed, because it's just big trouble on the horizon. And it's to no avail. They're going to get confirmed, and heads are going to roll. And like I say, Elon already in 3 weeks has found $100 billion in fraud. And there's going to be some people getting taken down over that. Now, Kristi Noem, Secretary of Homeland Security, took a trip to New Orleans to ensure everything was ready for Super Bowl, with Trump being the first president to ever attend the game. And from what I've heard, there were no major occurrences other than Kansas City Chiefs getting their butt kicked. At the game, a tribute to the preparation of the major law enforcement agencies and local authorities involved. Congratulations, they kept Trump safe. And Trump's got more, but I want to get to my third sponsor, Hamel Machine Company, before we get to the more Trump news. And I want to just say that Hamel Machine Shop, I never realized what a force they are in the Niagara region, how much they do for not only local industry, but for clients around the world. These guys are not only a machine shop to take care of your every need, whatever it is you need, machine and metal, made, created, designed, whatever. From back gates to major parts for your machinery, if you have a business that needs that. They can do it all there. You don't have to go anywhere else. Hamel Machine Company, they're the guys who do it. But they do it around the world. And not only do they repair and create stuff, they invent stuff. An agricultural products, they invented a machine that'll harvest these crops, 100 times faster than they were before. And they're being sold all around the world to do this. They design and manufacture everything. In the wine industry, they designed aluminum racks rather than steel racks, easy for one person to handle because they're very lightweight, but they're strong enough to do the job. They revolutionized that kind of thing. Unbelievable what they do. They have electrical engineers over there, designers, IT people, water jet cutters, laser printers, or the 3D printers, right? It's unbelievable what they can do there. And I never knew until Bob Benner came in. So if you have anything you need repaired, designed, fixed, re-engineered, any part that you can't get, it's going to take months, you might want to go down to Hamel and ask them if they can do it. Because they could probably do it for a great price and do it immediately. You don't have to sit around with anything broken down, waiting and waiting and waiting. They can do it at Hamel Machine Company. Now, they have a couple offices, one on Kent Street, one right over here on Bridge Street. They do welding, the old Hauser's Welding. And they're great. They're friendly. You go in there and they'll take care of you. And guaranteed, if they can't fix it, they'll tell you who can. But the odds are they're the ones who are going to be able to fix anything. Hamel Machine Company. Give them a call today. HamelMachine.ca is their website. Check it out. And if you have anything you need, just go see them. They're great people and they'll help you out. Tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. And we ask, support our sponsors because they support the show and they support the city. Big proponents of the city of Niagara Falls. Now, Christy Noam, yeah, she got the everybody down the Super Bowl, everybody there, everybody safe. Coordinated everything, went down for herself to see it, been down to the border, riding horseback along the border, see what's going on down there. Man, she's already into it, 2 or 3 weeks in. Now, Trump also signed an EO right on Air Force One, directing the U.S. Geological Survey to rename the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. And, like I saw a guy saying, he can't do that. He can't do that. Oh, yeah, he can. Yeah, he can do that. Why can't he? It's a name on a map. Anybody could change the name on a map. He's telling all America and everybody else to change the name to Gulf of America. He renamed it. February 9th, Gulf of America Day. Forget the Super Bowl. But, when you look at it, just why he did this, why did he do that? Well, I mean, Gulf of America, it is in North America, and it doesn't belong to any country like Mexico. It's North American. Gulf of America makes perfect sense. But number two, it's a brilliant chess move. I heard a guy on TV talking about this, and I go, yeah, Trump's always ahead of these guys. You know that, right? So here we are. President Biden signed an order saying that they can't drill for oil in the Gulf of Mexico. Part of his not drilling for oil program anywhere in the United States. Whereas Trump's like, drill, baby, drill. But this order didn't say you couldn't drill in the Gulf of America, only the Gulf of Mexico. So, if the Gulf of Mexico doesn't exist anymore, neither does that order. So, you can drill, baby, drill. Voila. Outsmarted by Trump again. How simple is that? How simple is that? What else are the left wings doing? Oh, they're going crazy. I'll tell you how crazy they're going. They're trying to impeach Trump again, of course. That's a never-ending goal of theirs. But how about this whack job? Lori Puhutsky, Michigan State Representative from the Democratic Party, said last Wednesday, this is what she said. Last Wednesday, she made this announcement. She underwent surgery earlier in the year to become voluntarily sterile out of fear for the future of reproductive health care access with Trump back in office. Every time she talks, my cuckoo clock goes off in the house. Totally whacked, a real nut job. Yep, she underwent surgery to ensure that she will never have, and I quote, to navigate a pregnancy in Donald Trump's America. I refuse to let my body be treated as currency by an administration that only sees value in my ability to procreate. So basically, she opted for this surgery because she couldn't be sure she would be able to access contraception in the future. Now, you want to talk about mental cases. You want to talk left-wing loonies. I mean, all of that she believes is from the constant barrage from the left of Trump, saying he's a racist and a Nazi, orange man bad, Cheeto man, Southern psychopath. Oh my God, all these names trigger people like this to do stupid things, and not only do them to herself, but having rallies to tell other people this is what they should be doing. I'm telling you, these people are wacky. TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, alive and well and running wild. What you're gonna do? Now, I've seen a picture of this lady, and seriously, there's no need for this procedure. Mother Nature has already taken care of that. Enough said. Let the loonies go loonier. They're really going off the deep end. Now, I saw a real good article, an interesting article in the Niagara Falls Review. And it's a suggestion that has been coming from Mayor John Ringo Beam. That's right, the mayor of Chippewa West, John Ringo Beam, and possible future mayor of Niagara Falls, I might add, said this a long time ago. And actually, he said it about a month ago, maybe, or 2 months ago on my show. And here it is, right in the paper, front and center. He said that the city can't get enough doctors, so what they should do is hire their own doctors. I'm sitting here thinking, well, is that possible? Oh, and John says, oh, yeah, that's what they should be doing. And I'm going, oh, interesting thought. But you know what? Somebody was listening, John, because Aurelia has now come up with that same idea. They couldn't get enough doctors. 1/3 of Aurelia, which has about 36,000 people, had no doctor. And when the mayor there, well, he was a candidate for mayor at the time, went around asking people what their biggest concerns were, a whole lot of them said, we don't have a family doctor. We need to get more doctors. And we know there's a huge shortage in the Niagara region. So what this guy says is they are going to hire their own. Yeah. The plan is to hire 8 to 12 doctors and pay them a wage. And use the money that doctors would normally get from OHIP for their visits to run the clinic. Now, when you think about it, I believe the city has allocated like $500,000 to hire more doctors in Niagara Falls right now. I mean, what they're going to do with that money, instead of trying to hire more doctors and giving them $100,000 each or anything, what they're going to do is they're going to finance a clinic with all the equipment and everything. And what they're going to do is put these doctors in that clinic so they don't have the burden of the initial opening expenses. And they won't have to run the office. They're just going to have to work there. And they work for the city. The city's going to give them a decent wage. And they're going to work for the city. And people can go to these doctors. And they're all set up. They don't have to worry about the business end of it. They don't have to worry about anything except seeing people. And for every client, staff there that's from the city will be billing OHIP and getting that money and helping to pay for the clinic and pay the doctors a yearly salary, a good salary. And without that burden of opening an office with all the equipment you need and staff and running a business, because a lot of doctors are very good at what they do. They're very good doctors, but they're not really great businessmen. They're not really great businessmen simply because that's not what they went to school for. That's not their expertise, running an office. So they're going to have it done for them. All they have to do is come in and do what they're doing, do what they're best at, being a doctor and seeing people. Can you imagine if we did this in in Niagara Falls? We take the old building, an old building that we have, like the Wayne Thompson building, for example. At the time we had that, filling it full of doctors, having all offices in there, and running it like that. And then we give the doctors a salary every week. They get whatever, 10 grand, 15 grand, whatever a good salary would be for a doctor. You'd have to, they know what the numbers are. I don't. It was 150,000 good for a doctor, maybe 300,000. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, they would generate that money from the office, and they would pay them, and these doctors would not have any expenses coming into the business. They'd have an ongoing situation where they could work, no problem. And this is something John Ringo Beam talked about a couple months in my office. Hey, make me an office too, Niagara Falls. Pay me a salary, please. In the studio here. So I think it's a great idea. If we're going to spend money anyway trying to recruit them, why not spend it on something like this where they really don't have any expenses? There's no burden put on them. no startup costs and administration. They just walk in every day, come in at 8 or 9, whatever the hours are for a doctor these days. And then, of course, Wednesdays are golf days, and see patients. Now, if we need 36 doctors, I don't know if we need them for Niagara Falls, but we need a lot here. Let me put it that way. We're having a hard time attracting them. Imagine just saying, "Hey, come on down. It's free. You just walk in and start your practice. You don't have to worry about any startup costs. Nothing, nothing. And we're going to pay you a salary every year." I think it's a great idea. John Ringo Beam hit this one out of the park. Then a lot of times they say you got to think out of the box. Well, in the climate that we're in, with everything going on, it's not about thinking out of the box anymore. It's about taking the box, throwing it in the garbage, and starting a new box. That's what we got to do now. And this is a great idea. Aurelia's going to give it a shot. I think somebody should bring this up to city council and mention it and see if we can look into it. I think it's well worth looking into, rather than spending our money trying to get doctors here. I mean, when you think about it, $50,000, that's not enough to open an office and pay the rent and everything else. We have a city property that can be used, refurbished, that we already own, so we don't have to pay rent. We just pay the doctors, and all the money coming in goes to the city. I'm sure Jason Burgess, our CEO, and Tiffany Clark, our bean counter, I'm sure they can figure this one out. And I think it's a great idea. I think John Ringo Beam hit it right on the head here. And this is what we got to do. Aurelia's going to do it. Why don't we look at it? Come on, City Council. Somebody mention this. Somebody get up and mention this. John Ringo Beam, I tell you to go down to City Hall, but they're not going to listen to you. It's got to come from one of the city councilors and maybe even Mayor Jim. Mayor Jim would be the perfect guy to put this forward. And it's got to go. It's got to be looked into. I mean, John, you can go there, John, but what's going to happen? You're going to get 5 minutes. They're going to tell you to sit down because that's just the way they are. Yeah, our opinions. That's why I don't bother going to council. I know they're not going to listen to me. Look at Jody Burdett. He knows more than most of the councilors about it, and he goes there and they give him 5 minutes, and he hands in some paperwork, and they throw it in the garbage. They don't even care. They don't even care. But if it came from one of the councilors or the mayor, hey, now we're talking. Anyway, great idea. If anybody's listening in out there, hey, give me your comments. What do you think of that? I think it's a fantastic idea. I think it's phenomenal. John Ringo Beam said it, and now that I see Aurelia doing it, I think, hey, why not? It can be done. It can be done. Anyway, that's it for me today. We're hitting the witching hours here. It's 1:00, and I'm getting out of here. Tomorrow, Counselor Lori Lococo, in the house, answering questions from viewers and readers, and we're gonna have great discussions tomorrow about different things going on in the city. I'm sure some questions she'll be able to answer, some she may not right away, but she'll get back to you. I can't wait. It's going to be a fun day with Lori in the studio. Wednesdays, absolutely. Thursday is going to be viewer comment day. I'm going to amalgamate all the viewer comments and have them on Thursday. I think I'm going to make that day viewer comment day. So I'm starting to get a lot more comments. It's taking up more time, so we'll get the comments in there. Search them all out from last week, starting with last Friday where Chris Regas was on the show. We'll do those Thursday, and then Friday, we're there again, and away we go. Anyway, have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate the views. Smash that subscribe button, and away we go. Tomorrow's another day. It's a beautiful sunny day out here. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. We're supposed to get more snow towards the middle of the week. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. They're still sending stuff our way from the west. So we're not out of the woods yet, but we're getting closer by the day. Don't forget to support our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair Body Shop, Hamel Machine Company, and Pizza on Victoria Avenue. Great sponsors. Provide great services to the residents of Niagara Falls, and also they support the city and support the show. My name is Paul Calamere. This is Your City, Your Voice, and I'm a member of the Fringe minority with unacceptable views. Have a great day. 4680Q Radio. Tune in for other shows all week. More talk shows all week. Have a good time. We'll talk to you. God bless you all. We'll talk to you tomorrow with Lori Lococo. Ciao, ciao. Or now.